Hello, my friend. The reason most artists hate to do business plans because they are long, too many pages, too many things to do, too complex, a lot of information, and what happens is you end up becoming overwhelmed and not really making any progress. Artists typically who work on a business plan at the beginning of the year, by the third month, by March, they forgot all about the business plan and it gets buried under the desk. So my friend, because that is a problem, I want to help you out. Today, in this video, we're going to work on the one-page business plans that every artist needs. That's it. A one-pager business plans that everybody needs to make your year a lot better. This page is going to give you an overlook. It's going to give you a focus. It's going to pull your attention in what matters most to you, and it's going to help you gain greater success. This is exactly the one-page business plan that I'm focusing on helping all the artists in my coaching program to follow for the new year, because I believe it works really, really great.
Resources, inspiring interviews, business practices, and practical advice to take your art career to the next level. Join Sergio Gomez in today's Artist Next Level and get ready to take control of your career.
All right, my friend. So, yes, why just one pager? Because I love simplicity. I'm always looking at how to explain things simple, how to make things easier, not more complicated for us as artists, because we live in a world now which keeps becoming more and more complex. I remember the days when it was just Instagram and Facebook, and that was it. And Instagram, you just took a picture, click a filter, put 3 hashtags, and put a caption, and that was all you need to do. Now, you gotta do, stories and reels and posts and carousels and lives, etc. Just on Instagram. Then you got Facebook, then you got Twitter, then you got, now X, then you got TikTok, then you got Pinterest, you got LinkedIn, you got Blue Sky, etc. The list goes on and on and on. And now you got AI, which you also have to learn. So, the life of the artist is becoming more complex. And trying to do things that are complex in order to get better is not the best solution. So we're going to focus on something super simple that everybody can do, that you can do with me right now. Yes, right now. So all you got to do is go and find a 1 sheet of paper. That's all you need, a 1 sheet of paper and something to write with. And we're going to work on the one-page business plan that can totally change your art career for the best. So once you find that sheet of paper, all you got to do is divide this page into 4 equal spaces. So I'm going to draw a line top to bottom and a line left to right so that I create 4 equal spaces on my page. And they don't have to be perfect. My lines are not perfect. Pretty good. All you need is just 4 sections. Each section is going to have a little title and it's going to have a purpose that's going to help us to achieve our one-page business plan. And what we're going to do is, once we are done, we're going to be able to put this on the top of our studio, on our wall, or somewhere where we can see it every time we walk in the studio, so that we can be reminded of what's the business plan, what's the goal, right? Where do we want to get? When I started my art gallery many years ago, I had to write a business plan, and it was like this. It was a complex, many pages business plan. And then when I started also my art career, when I went solo, when I quit my day job and was full-time as an artist, then I had to also write my business plan. And it was long, it was a binder too, it had a lot of things in it. And, as older as I get and the better I get, I'm kind of simplifying and making things more concise because they work better. So today, this is the type of business plan that I'm using for myself, and I'm going to teach you here. Now that we have our 4 sections, the first section, which is going to be the upper left section, the title that we want to put here is we're going to think about what we call the freedom number. So I'm going to call it freedom number. So I'm going to title this section the freedom number. So what is that? The freedom number is the amount, right? So I'm going to put a $sign here. Is the amount that for you as an artist will help you, be more relaxed, be more free from the worry of sustaining your art career, the worry of paying the rent on your studio, buying your supplies, what is that number that can help you ease the tension of the financial burden in your art career? And for some of you who may, perhaps you're watching this video and like, Sergio, I still have a day job. I'm not a full-time artist yet. I'm just kind of starting getting things done. I have not sold anything. Maybe for you, the freedom number is not completely replacing your job, so that would be kind of hard to do in just 1 year. But rather, maybe like, you know what, Sergio, I want to do my first $5,000 of sales because I have never sold anything in my life. So maybe that's your freedom number, because for you, hitting 5,000 for you is a signal that, you know what, there are people out there who are willing to pay something for my art. There are people out there who are willing to start collecting it, and I can see now that is something I can do. So that may be your freedom number. It's a number that symbolizes something, not necessarily that this is your retirement number, okay? Let's not go that crazy. For some of you who maybe, if you have already sold art in the past and you're kind of building your art career, but maybe you still have a day job or a part-time job, maybe that freedom number might be, I don't know, 24,000, 25,000 or something. Maybe for some of you, you'll be already at the 50,000 or maybe 80,000 or 100 or 200,000. Depends what you have done in the past. Every artist is different, and every artist is going to have a different freedom number. And again, think about the symbol of that number, what it means, and why this number is important to you. This is not your retirement number again, right? Oh, I can live in luxury if I have 500,000 a year. Well, that's awesome, but that's not going to happen just because you put a number right there. You got to be realistic, but at the same time, if this is a business plan, you're pushing, you're aiming to something bigger and higher than what you have ever done in the past, right? That's the idea. So let's say, as an example, you're an artist who's just starting out and you've been making some progress, but you want to get better. Last year, maybe you sold 12,000. So you say, okay, this year I want to get to 24,000, for example, just to make it super easy. You'll see why. So I'll say, okay, your freedom number this year might be 24,000, and that's plenty for you. For others, that's nothing, right? That number means something, but it's not really their freedom. They need a lot more. You pick and you choose. But the reason this number is important is because you're going to look at that number and say, okay, whatever number that is, how does that relate per month? So you're going to take that amount and divide it by 12. So you know exactly how much per month you need to make in order to hit that freedom number. Because that freedom number looks big right now because you're looking at an annual number. But when you're looking at a month basis, it will become more manageable. So, that's why I picked 24. It's easy, right? 24 divided by 12 is going to be 2,000 per month. So this right here is the actual real freedom number that you're looking at, right? What is that number per month that you want to aim to? That is important because now it looks more doable. Coming up with $24,000, that sounds like a lot. But when you say, it's only $2,000 a month, okay, that's more manageable. That is better. That is still is a push, it still is stretching me, but it's more realistic. It's a number I can aim towards. And that is good because there are months in which you may get, like, let's say 1 month you get a great commission that pays you $6,000. Like, wow, that already made you like 3 months of this, right? Which is awesome. So even if you have a summer that is super slow and you don't sell anything, well, because you did that commission that put you already ahead, then you're still good to reaching your target. But having this target number per month allows you to make it happen. Otherwise, you just say, I want to sell more art than I did last year, but you have no plan. You have no target. It's very important that we have a target in mind that can help us reach that number. So that's your first quadrant right here, is your freedom number. The second one, which we're going to do, which is the second box right here, we're going to title this the income buckets. So income buckets. There we go. So your income buckets. So what you want to do here is put A, B, and C. And perhaps D, but we'll get to that if you need that. A, it's like the different ways in which you bring revenue to your art career. So A, for example, will be art sales. That's the easiest, right, to think about. Say maybe last year you sold a little bit, this year you want to sell more. So art sales. But if you are only as an artist depending on art sales, you are going to probably be short-handed because art sales, are very tricky to plan and are very tricky, to to determine. Because art sales, you can have really good 2-3 months, and then you have the 3 months that nobody's buying anything. It's like feast and famine. That's kind of art sales happen. Not only for artists, but for galleries. I had a gallery for many years, and art sales are unpredictable. Some years you do really well, some years the art market may be low, people are watching their money, they're not spending as much, or life happens, you move, there's some circumstances, you had to close your studio, you got a bigger studio, whatever the reason, sales will shift. You didn't get any shows this year, etc. So art sales is just one of the income buckets. You gotta create more. And this is important because now, as you're doing this one pager, if all you have is this, now when you look at it, it's like, shit, what am I gonna do for B and C? What else can I do? For some artists here, it might be prints and merchandise. B, for example, be prints and merchandise. Here we go. So maybe for you, you also have prints and you have merchandise, like maybe t-shirts or hats or whatnot. Something that I came up with is I'm now doing also some apparel. So I have my own t-shirts, which I'm making, which are pretty awesome. And also, I do sell prints, and I release prints throughout the year. I drop new prints throughout the year. So I'm always kind of, bringing more income through that, and that is important, right? I also came up with a legacy project, creating these amazing, beautiful butterflies. So again, I'm going to be selling those throughout the year, and that is an income bucket, new income bucket for me, because I just added that collection, and it's an ongoing collection. So, by looking at this, you're always thinking about, the business aspect without getting overwhelmed, because it's easy. This is super easy. It's a one pager. It's not like 10 pages. So it's a lot easier. Now, for some of you might be like, well, you know what, Sergio, besides prints and merchandise and sales, I also do commissions. So put that here, commissions. Maybe commissions are important for you. Commissions. How about commissions? And this is good because as we go into marketing in a minute, this allows you to think like, what, I haven't talked about my commissions in a long time. Maybe I should do some posts in which I share some of my latest commissions or some testimonials or how to work with me, how to get a commission. Now you can, because you see it here that, what, all these income buckets that you're going to create, they require also constant marketing. They require constant communication to your audience. Not everybody assumes that you do commissions. Not everybody remembers that you do commissions. You got to talk about it. Nobody knows you have prints just because you released some prints last year and it went really well. But maybe right now you're not selling any of them for the last 3 months or 6 months because you're not talking about them enough, right? You don't remind people. Just because you know they're there doesn't mean everybody knows they're there. So you got to talk about them. Maybe for some of you also you have licensing, or you do teaching, or you do classes or courses, or you have an online course, classes, for example, I'm going to put here as D. And depending how long you've been of an artist and how you're running your art career, you may have multiples. In my case, I have more. I also do licensing of my art. I also do leasing, where I can lease artwork to a corporate office. I also have an income bucket for my YouTube channel. So the YouTube channel, the more videos I make and the more people watch them, I get also money from YouTube for that. So, these are all different things that add up. So when you're looking at this number as your target, even if the art sales are slow, well, you got these other things that can compensate. And that's the whole idea. So income buckets, write them down. And if you only have one or two, in the next year, make it a plan to continue adding that to your lineup. The next one, the third box here in your one-pager business plan is going to be what I call the visibility engine. So for this one, I'm going to put here an eyeball, and I'm going to call it visibility engine. There we go. Right there. Visibility engine. This is your marketing box, your marketing section. You need to plan for that. So as we know, social media is super important. This is how you channel everything that you do in your studio out to the masses. Without social media, it's almost impossible to get the word out to people. What you're doing in your studio, what you are creating of your commissions, your prints, your classes, etc. Right? You need social media. But it's really impossible to be in all social media platforms and to be great at all social media platforms. And what happens is that artists get overwhelmed, get frustrated, and they're not good at any of it. So what I want you to do is from 1 to 3, write down in the order of the most important as number 1 to the third one, the one that you need to focus on, that you really want to focus on because you see more benefit. Not necessarily because you like it the most. Maybe you like Pinterest the most, but you haven't really got any leads from Pinterest versus Instagram or Facebook. And see which one is good for you. Don't think about anybody else. Think about you. I have artists in my program, in the Art Next Level coaching program, that are amazing on Facebook. And they sell art in Facebook left and right. And that is their platform. That is their number 1. So I always tell them, don't switch. Stay on Facebook. Be really good at it. Continue being good at it because it's working for you. Versus, for me, Facebook, I have sold maybe a couple things on Facebook, but for me, Instagram is the one that's the best for me. Has given me the best results. I like Instagram because that's where you find the curators, galleries, other artists, etc. So think about which one is for you. Maybe for you could be Pinterest. Maybe the type of art that you create has a best fit on Pinterest, and you found that Pinterest, that's where your community is at. So pick one as your top and make that number 1. So for me, it's going to be Instagram, and my number 2 is going to be YouTube. That's where I spend most of my time. That's where I put my best effort. And the third one, I'm going to put Facebook, which I'm there, but I'm not there. You know what I mean? I'm really always really focused on Instagram and on YouTube. And what I want you to do, in the one that you put as the number 1, give it a big circle. Circle the one that you put as your number 1. So I want you to become really good at it. Not just I'm on Instagram or I'm on Facebook or whichever is your number 1, or TikTok. It's like, I'm going to be really good at it. I'm going to learn how to make reels, how to make carousels, how many hashtags, no hashtags, how to make stories. Be good at it. Why would you be on something that you want to have success on and not be good at? What's the point, right? You want to be good at it. So because you're not focusing on all of them, just focusing on one, then you have more time to really get good at it. So figure out, what are the things you need to do to get good at Instagram. Inside my program, the coaching program, we can help you with that. If that's something you need. So we're always looking at, what are the best strategies for Instagram, etc. So you gotta look at what is it for you. Now, once you have that, what I want you to put also in the visibility engine, which is super important, and you don't want to forget, because this is like the hidden part of the visibility, is that, from all this, what you want to aim towards at the end of the year is also building your email list. Don't forget that. It's not just getting more followers or more likes. That doesn't really matter. What you want to do is you want to build your email list. Why? Because your email list is the only thing you own. I work and I met with so many artists who have lost followers, who have lost their account because Instagram deleted their account, or somebody hacked their password and they were not able to get it back, and they have lost all their followers. Now they're starting from scratch. But if they never took the time to start building an email list, they don't own anything. Even if you have 100,000 followers on Instagram, you don't own them. If you lose your account, if Instagram does something, you lose all those 100,000 followers, all of them. Same for any other platform. The only thing you own is the list that you actually have in your computer, that you actually physically have. So you want to be an artist who's always going towards the goal of growing your email list. In my experience, I've sold tons of art through my email list because I'm always looking at how do I grow my email list. So you want to make sure that you work on growing your email list, as a result of what you're doing on social media, reminding people to, hey, join my email list. If somebody starts following you, inquires about your art, hey, can I add your email to my email list? That way you can be on top of the information of all the new things that come out of my studio, or be the first one to know about what's new, etc. Give people an incentive and a reason to join, so they want to be in your email list, because this is so important. It's part of your visibility engine. Is the back end of the visibility, not the front end. Front end social media, because everybody sees it. Email list I consider back end, but it's still part of visibility, because when I send an email to people who said, yes, I want to hear from you, they are going to see my name coming in their inbox, right? And that is important. That's visibility. So that is super important. Visibility engine helps you make these guys successful, right? Without this, these things don't work, and without this, that doesn't work. So that's the whole idea. Now, in the last box, which is super important too, and something that inside our Next Level program, we are so focused on wellness, mindset, on the idea of sustainability, making sure that we're not just working more and more and more. How do we become more sustainable? How do we sustain our mindset, our wellness? Dr. Yanina Gomez, my wife, who is a coach inside the program, she's always helping us in that area. So for this one, I want to put here also your habits. What is a habit or habits that you want to make sure that you're going to keep or adapt, maybe new habits that you need to adapt or keep, for our career, our practice, so that these things happen without burnout. So I'm going to call these habits. What are the habits? And to make it more sustainable, you don't want to pick 50. What are the top 2 habits you need to have, that you may want to have, to make your art career more sustainable? For some of you who've been running and running and running, maybe take a day off once a week. Take a day off in which you don't think about art, you don't think marketing, you don't go into your social media, you don't post anything. You just enjoy being alive, enjoy your family, your friends. What are 2 habits that you need? For example, for me, one habit is what I call my morning routine or priming my day. So I'm going to put that, priming my day. This one is super important for the success of my art career. Every morning, I wake up early before anybody wakes up in the house. I go, I get my dog, and we sit down, and we go outside. She does her thing, and then I have a little chair in the front of the house. I pull my chair, and I sit down, and that's where I do my prayer, my meditation, my reading, my time of quietness, and center myself. That's super important for me. Every day I do that, so that by priming my day, I'm ready to, when I go in the house, I'm ready to get to work. I'm ready to focus on what matters most. I'm not, waking up and going to Facebook or Instagram or the news. That's the worst thing you can do, those 3. What you need to do first is replenish your inner self, replenish your mind, so that you're ready for the day. So that's a habit. It's a habit that I've been working on, and I've been pretty consistent at, particularly more recently. So, that's a habit that's helping me with my success. The next habit that also super important for me is Mondays. So my Monday habit is what I call my targets, my Monday targets. So the other day I made a post on social media where I said Mondays for me is like an archer that picks the bow and arrow and chooses the target, and then the rest of the week is just shooting arrows to that target. Boom, boom. The problem that I see many artists is like every day of the week they are shooting arrows to every possible way, every direction, and they're not hitting any target because they're just shooting randomly. Mondays, you should take time to sit down, look at your business, look at this, your one-pager business plan, and say, I'm going to aim my arrow, and that's the target I'm going to go for this week, and then just shoot all week long. And the next Monday, you do the same. Or pick the top 3 targets that you have, so that as you pick each target, then you move it to the next, And that is very, very important. These are 2 habits that for me are super important. And I'm going to give you a bonus. Under habits. As you also look at your to-do list, right, something that can help you is there are 3 types of to-do items that you always want to have in your art career every week. So I'm going to put here to-dos. So I put here at the bottom my to-dos. This is my to-do list. So every week I want to make sure I do 3 things. I have some to-do things that I enjoy. So number 1 is I enjoy. What are things that I enjoy that I need to schedule this week? Getting in my studio, having some time for reading, having some time for watching Netflix, whatever. What are the things that you enjoy? Maybe for your exercise or walking. It's a to-do list that's the easiest one to do, but you gotta put it there, right? It's a to-do list. So every week, gotta make sure I gotta do something I enjoy. Second thing I need to schedule every week is something that is urgent, that I do not enjoy. So I'm gonna say no enjoyment on this one. But every week I gotta do things that are urgent, that require my attention, I gotta get done, that I don't enjoy. So I want to make sure that I get them done so I don't have to think about it. Every Friday, for example, I gotta run my accounting, my numbers. I hate it, but I gotta do it. Cleaning the floor, whatever it is. You pick that. What are some to-dos that you gotta do every week? So you do this every week, right? What things am I gonna enjoy doing? What things are urgent I must do? And then the third one, because this is a big deal, because most artists focus on those two. They just get things that are urgent done, and they do things that they enjoy. But the third one is, what are 3 things that are long-term? What is something that I need to do this week that it has a long-term reward? In other words, if I do it this week, it's like nothing's going to happen. It's like I don't get a reward from it. But if I do it every week, if I do this thing every week, 2 years from now, it's going to be something massive. Let me give you an example. If I want to have really great shows 2 years from now, I got to start working on an exhibition proposal, a really good exhibition proposal. I got to think about the concept, the ideas, the portfolio, what am I going to submit it, what are going to be the curators, etc. That's going to happen 2 years from now, but I need to start today working on that. So today I can say, well, this week I'm going to work on the concept of the collection or the series. So that's something that I'm working on, but I'm not going to get a reward from it. It's not going to, I don't going to see any positive of working on it because it's a long-term reward. But the next week I'll keep working at it. Next week, then I'm going to move and I'm going to start building the proposal and then taking the photographs, building the portfolio. So every week is one little thing that is going to accumulate, that is going to guarantee me that in 2 years from now, I'm going to have amazing opportunities and amazing shows. That's how it happens. And artists that are more successful are artists who are not spending all their time in just what they enjoy and the things that are urgent, but are spending time in things that give you the long-term reward. So I want you to be that successful. I want you to be that artist who start every week scheduling things that are long-term, have long-term benefit, long-term reward. And you want to put that in your one-page business plan. And now, if you look at it, it's amazing. You got your revenue goal, how much is that per month. You got your income buckets, so you know how you're going to reach that. You know what you need to talk about in your marketing. You got your visibility engine, so you know which platform you're going to really focus on this year and really be strategic and not waste time in the other ones. And then you know that you got to keep adding people to your email list left and right as much as you can. Got to build that sucker. And then you know the habits that are going to make all this possible, because behind the scenes you're taking care of your mind and your wellness and your physical and spiritual self by having some habits that are going to allow you to be sustainable. And then you're going to have three things that you're going to schedule every week. Things that you enjoy, things that are urgent, and things that have long-term reward. And when you do that, my friend, you're going to be unstoppable. And what I'm going to do also is, inside our Next Level program, I'm going to be working with artists on a new challenge that's called the Art Business Sustainability Challenge, where we're going to take this and then we're going to expand it. We're going to really put it through a powerful engine, and we're going to really make it work so that we achieve greater success. Because this is like your overview, the wide-eyed angle. Now we're going to go in detail into each one, give you tools, resources, give you AI companions and tools that can help you achieve some of these things, so you can focus more on what you love, be more effective in your studio, in your marketing, in your organization, in your wellness and mindset. With Dr. Yana Gomez is going to help us do that. So the Art Business Sustainability Challenge is going to help artists do that. And I invite you to be part of it. You can find us at theartistnextlevel.com if you want to be part of that challenge. If you want to make your best year ever. If you want to achieve greater success, you want to not work more. It's not about working more. It's about being more strategic. and being more simplified tools that make sense to you, not these complicated, long-form business plans that nobody reads, but being strategic and doing things that make sense and can actually help you move the needle forward. That's exactly what I do inside the Next Level program. That's how I help artists. I answer all your questions. I work with you. We work as a community with hundreds of artists from around the world, and it's going to be amazing.
Check out our website at www.theartistnextlevel.com, where you will find our podcast library, learn about our upcoming webinars, find resources relevant to your career, and much more. Thanks for listening to today's podcast, and we'll see you at the next level.